Good evening, everybody in YouTube. Once again, it's the three middle-aged dudes just bullshitting about nothing. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
Gray Mouse 1.
Yep. And in this video, we are actually going to talk about the fact that earlier this week or earlier last week, Deep Silver released out a trailer to Mighty Number 9 called Mighty Number 9 Masterclass, and it was put up on YouTube. And it hasn't exactly had the rosiest of receptions. As of this time, it was released out 5 days ago on May 25th, 2016. There are 818,791 views. It is sitting at 3,605 likes. Not bad. And 26,606 dislikes. It has over 8 times as many dislikes as there is likes. Many of the I guess you could say feelings about the trailer and everything else can kind of be attributed to a few things. Number one, there's been a lot of drama going on with Mighty Number 9 as far as it going from being an absolute Kickstarter darling to right now, after all the delays and drama behind the scenes, and also for the fact that the trailer really kind of reminds me of late 90s trailers where they tried to go ahead and set up brand new like mascot characters for video games. It screams 90s Tood, all right?
Like
Not
Bubsy?
attitude, but Tood, yes. Like Bubsy or other things like Rice or other fucking, or where we thought Crash was going to be at one time. All right, yeah, it just screams a lot of try-hard attitude from around that time. It's not that bad, but it could be better. Thoughts, guys?
This game has been plagued with a lot of things from the get-go. Of course, when it first started, people were like, oh my God, Mighty Number 9, it's going to be a successor to Mega Man.
Spiritual successor.
Yeah, spiritual successor. And then things started going downhill with all the delays.
Actually, before that, what started happening with Mighty Number 9 was the fact that one of the things that really a lot of fans went out of their way to embrace Mighty Number 9 for was the fact that shortly before that, just a few months before that, Mega Man Legends 3, as far as the it being a project, was completely canceled and removed from existence by Capcom. And what Capcom had promised a lot of the fans who were following it, a lot of the community that was following it, was that Capcom was going to allow, just like previous other Mega Man games, they were going to allow users to go ahead and come up and submit like artwork and designs and stuff like that, and then they would choose things to go ahead and use in game, like they did with a lot of the earlier Mega Man games on the NES. Well, Capcom, when they canceled the project, they sat there and they canceled the project, and they announced out on the Capcom forums the reason that it was canceled was because there was a lack of community interest. Now, at this time, they had over 150,000 fucking registered users on that particular portion of the forum, and they had thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of art submissions put in by community members. Okay, and these are people who are following it. They had their ear to the ground. They were checking out the community for 24/7 for days on end. And Capcom had dared to say that there wasn't enough community involvement. When the truth of the matter is that, their corporate bean counters wanted to move in a different direction. All right. Fast forward to Mighty Number 9, Keiji Inafune, he leaves Capcom, citing a whole bunch of creative differences and about how he didn't have creative control and that he didn't have enough control over his own projects. So he announces this Kickstarter, and it becomes one of the fastest funded Kickstarter projects in fucking history. They start setting everything up. He starts putting together, artwork assets and everything else. And just like they did with the Mega Man Legends project, he started going, okay, we're going to be taking fan submissions as far as artwork and designs and things like that for assets that we're going to use in game. You know, where I can't guarantee it's going to be bosses, but, you know, other monsters and other robots and things like that. You know, and people started submitting things. Okay. Now, there was a particular person who was put in charge of being the moderator of the Capcom community, who, let's just say, leans very heavily on her identity politics, and she started saying things about why isn't there any sort of diversity to the art that's being submitted? Why isn't there any more female? Or she openly said, why isn't there any more gender liquid characters being put out? And not only that, but she started moderating and banning people and deleting shit. Okay, and it became so bad that people within the community who had given to the Kickstarter started asking for their fucking money back. All right. Now, I don't know whether or not she still existed as head moderator of the community all the way through the process, because I haven't heard a lot of drama about that. That was really the start of all of that drama.
It's funny how when you trace back stuff, you can go back to somebody that's trying to interject their ideology into profession. Not just in gaming, but into profession. And that is unprofessional at all costs, and those people need to be out.
Yeah.
Let's stick to what we are here for, okay? If you don't like where you're at because of certain reasons, then you have to become an entrepreneur. Don't stay there and say you're fighting for the cause, but you're still there, and you can't really do anything for change except for fuck people that are below you and that are out of the loop. That means you're fucking everything as a whole. So either that was your mission in the first place, or you're just solely delusional thinking that you can change anything from a low point. And as far as diversity in games, okay, look. Games are meant for fun. We don't care. We don't care who or what we're controlling. We don't give a fuck. We just don't, okay? If there was a game, a Mary-Kate and Ashley game that was good, then trust me, a lot of girls will be playing it if they had the interest of playing video games. But they don't. You can't control our interests. We don't want to control bunny rabbits. A lot of people are not into that. We want to control what we relate to, okay? And if we are interested in gaming, there's nothing that you can do to deter that as far as what we want within gaming. Stop with the ideology. Stop with trying to. I feel that no, quit that. That shit has got to go.
With me, I don't care if it was a female representative or a male representative. That's what
I mean. Stop with the ideology.
The point is that she tried to interject the ideology into selecting. Look, it's not fair. It's not fair for somebody who submitted all this artwork, took time. I know some artists that I grew up with that can fucking just blow things. I mean, I was like, wow, man, you definitely got talent. But to throw that away just because it doesn't go coincide with your ideology, no, you don't do things like that. And so I agree. If I was one of those people that submitted that art, all art should have gotten submitted all the way through, and you don't just select the ones that you think that falls in your ideology. No, you don't do shit like that.
What if there was a contest? What if you entered a sweepstakes and people that collected all that be like, oh, nope, this doesn't coordinate what I want. It's not about you. They entered this for the sweepstakes. Get that shit and submit it all.
And that's the way. And you know what? And just like the Reverend said, I would have been one, if I would have backed Mighty Number 9. I would have been one of those people that say, "Hey, I want my money back."
Well,
I'm not going to support something like this.
Here's the thing I'm going to say about that, and then let's move on and return back to where this video started at, instead of turning into a different topic altogether.
Yeah.
Look, I don't care. I don't care what company you or what company you work for, or what industry you're in. You don't sit there and put somebody who's a spokesperson, somebody who's supposed to sit and represent you in front of your user community, and allow them to go out of their way to insult, belittle, and degrade your user community.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't care if it's fucking ideology, or if it's fucking commentary on fashion, or if dude, it could be anything. All right. You just don't put anybody in that position. All right. As soon as that position, their stance or their actions become clear in that position, that person has to go. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Right?
As soon as that's compromised, out.
Well, to bring this conversation back to full circle, it seems to me that Mighty Number 9 had issues from the get-go. It just seems like it's struggled. I mean, delays. You know, there's 3 delays in this, and then we're going to push it back. We're going to push it back. We're going to push it back. I mean, it just people that, you know, you promised this, but now you're not even, you know what I mean? You're not holding up your end of the bargain. You just keep pushing. You're just holding a carrot above people's head and just putting that goalpost further and further away. And and you know, I mean, I can understand one of the reasons, you know, okay, the game's not fully developed. Okay, well, we need some extra time. But the excuse that they used for the last delay about wanting a multiplayer or a multiplayer thing, aspect of the thing, I was like, I read that, I was like, that's not what we wanted. We didn't want a multiplayer aspect for this game. You're just making excuses now. The game just straight up, and one thing that they did was they made the mistake of getting a release date.
No,
if you notice,
no, that's not a mistake. That is required by Kickstarter. You're supposed to put a projected release date.
A projected time or a specific date?
But then I got a question.
You're supposed to give them a release date for your project.
Well, one thing I have to call.
It doesn't matter if it's a book, a movie, a set.
Does Bloodstained have one?
I have to call you on this. No, it doesn't. They do not have a release date for Bloodstained.
March 2017.
When did that come out?
It's on their website.
Okay, I stand corrected. But I've never seen them. I never heard anything saying that was when the release date was.
No. Well, the thing about it is Bloodstained is too silent. There's nothing being leaked out.
Yeah, we're not hearing anything about it.
Yeah, there's no updates. There's no projecting, okay, we're going to be out here. And there's nothing for it. They're just working on it quietly.
And I understand Reverend, what you're saying is that part of the deal for Kickstarter is you got to come. You can't just take people's money and just keep pushing that goal further and further away.
Hey, some people, that's another person that's embedded in.
Yeah, let's not go down that route.
Yeah, we've already been there.
I know, but it's just that I think that maybe they should have had a more. Let me put it this way: maybe they should have had a more realistic date. But the thing is, though, at the beginning of when you're developing a game, you don't know what is going to happen. You don't know what setbacks you might have on the game. And for one thing, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Reverend, they're using Unreal Engine for this game?
I believe so.
Yeah.
3 or 4? I heard 3.
What I don't understand is that
their base development is set for they're still including PS3 and Xbox 360. And Wii U for their development and stuff like that.
But what I don't understand
also
is
the 3DS and the Vita too.
Well, what gets me is this: is that Unreal engine has been around forever.
That doesn't mean anything when you're developing stuff.
That's
I
true.
understand that. You're right.
Yeah, it doesn't mean.
You're right. But the thing is, though, I mean, it should have been. They're not doing something like Kojima's doing right now, where they're building their own engine from ground up. The engine's already there. They're just building upon that engine. So I don't understand. I mean, maybe because I'm not a developer, maybe I don't know. I mean, I've never developed a game before, so I can't give insight. But from the outside, the way I feel is like, okay, the engine, your basic engine is there. You just build up on, your game on it. But I don't know any better. But it's
the thing about the delays, it's not only the delays. It's what were the delays for? What did you improve? And by the trailer of the game, it looks like people are like, 3 million, where the fuck it go?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. Okay, is that one of the mistakes that they made was that one of the things that I will not defend them for, because it struck me as retarded when I first heard about it, and every time I think about it, it strikes me as super fucking retarded. Was the fact that they went ahead and they were like, oh yeah, guess what? We want to start another Kickstarter for Red Ash. People were like, wait a minute, motherfuckers, you still haven't given us Mighty Number 9.
Yeah.
And then that
was terrible.
When it became a huge fucking uproar, it turns out, oh no, Deep Silver's went ahead and decided to go ahead and pick that up and publish it for us anyways. So maybe you didn't even need to go ahead and do the crowdfunding thing.
Well, one thing too is, let me ask you. I didn't crowdfund the Mighty Number 9, but you did, Reverend. Were they transparent?
Yes.
I mean, were they completely I mean, I'm talking about through the development process. Were they transparent?
Yes. Okay. Here's one thing that I got to say about this. All right, because there was a reason why I was interested in addressing the Mighty Number 9 thing, was that I saw Alpha Mega Sin for Sin's video first, his reaction to the Mighty Number 9 trailer, which all the hate that's attached to it, is attached to a lot of the drama that comes along with the development of this particular game. And it was one of the last things that he said. He's like, I'd be surprised if anybody is still interested in the game. Look, I fucking Kickstarted it, and I'm still interested in the game. Yeah, because I paid the fucking money, and I still want to play the game. The thing that I have to say about Mighty Number 9 on a whole is that, guess what? All of the mistakes that they've made are not exclusive to them. Other Kickstarter projects have made the same exact fucking mistakes. 99% of the Kickstarter projects out there don't have the same community scrutinizing and publishing. They aren't publishing everything that's going on with the game and the whole process behind it as closely and as publicly as Mighty Number 9. Okay, even Shenmue, as closely followed as it is not under the same microscope as Mighty Number 9, and I don't think it will be.
Actually, it's kind of close.
People are being really critical, but there's a whole bunch of things about Kickstarter in general that a lot of folks have to sit there and understand. And
people still think that Shenmue 3 is a scam, for one.
Well,
and that's gonna put it under the microscope.
And those
except for motherfuckers gathering on the facts for it.
All right, those people are fucking retarded, because the thing is,
understanding that.
Because the thing about that is, no, I mean, they're not retarded. Because the thing is that if you're suffering from Down syndrome, that's a genetic thing that you have no choice to control. These people are fucking stupid. All right, because the thing is that you can control your stupidity by taking 2 minutes, going out of your way, and Googling up some fucking facts. Okay. The thing about, like I said, the thing about Mighty Number 9 in general is that it's made the same mistakes that a lot of other Kickstarter projects have made, but it's just very public, and it can't get away from any of that stuff. All right. The theme himself, he's supported Kickstarter projects. I mean, if I look on my Kickstarter page, I see here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 projects that I've given Kickstarter funds to, of which I've received 1, 2, 3 different things back. Majority of these other things are still set for delivery. A lot of these have 2015 delivery dates. Guess what? I don't see YouTube videos or articles being released out about delays for those fucking games. All right. Generally speaking, because as far as it goes, when it comes to developing, you can't predict everything that happens, especially when you're dealing with smaller independent development companies who don't have the backing of huge fucking publishers that are going to filter funds to them. All right. When you have a garage door development company putting together a game and they've got a staff of like maybe, I don't know, maybe a dozen people doing the core work, when those people get sick or real life happens to one of those people, and that puts everything back by a long fucking ways. And that's just what happens. And the thing about having an engine, that doesn't say anything. You can, because you can buy RPG Maker VX and all of the pack on accessories and stuff like that for like $300. The Unreal and stuff like that. And guess what? Steam will actually allow you to sell and publish your games that you put together using RPG Maker. All right.
So let me ask you a question. So essentially what you're saying is that you feel that it's not, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but you feel that it's kind of unfair that Mighty Number 9 is receiving all this this bad publicity in comparison to the other Kickstarters that have games that, little well-known games that have a crew of, like you said, people.
No, I don't think it's unfair at all. Okay, and I'll be very clear on that, because, like I said, I've had this conversation with other people, offline. I'm still interested in the game. I'm not going to sit there and say fuck this game and sit there and cry to the high hills. Give me my fucking money back. I'm never going to go ahead and support Concept on this shit again, because guess what? They need to be called out on this bullshit. They need to be this sort of thing. It needs to be held up high for not only Concept to notice, but other fucking project developers who go ahead and go through the same process to learn from. Because if they don't, this sort of thing becomes normal, and then it becomes accepted when it should never be accepted.
Yep.
Right? So I'm not going to sit there and say that it's unfair or that they're being singled out or anything like that, because the truth of the matter is that they've done some really, really stupid shit. All right. It just happens to be that in comparison to other projects out there, they have the spotlight on them, and they've had the spotlight on them for the last 3 fucking years.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
The trailer itself looks like the 3DS version, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean
all I can say is this: is that when this game finally releases, when is the release date? June.
I believe end of June this year. I believe.
Yeah. So it just better be good. That's all I got to say. Because I don't know. I mean, I guess this could roll right into our discussion with what do you call it? Kickstarters in general.
Yeah.
June 21st, supposedly.
What's going to happen is that if this is like you said, this is under the microscope. This is in the big spotlight. And if this game ends up flopping, which I hope it doesn't, like I said before, countless times, I always say that I don't want a game to fail. I want games to be successful because it's a benefit for all gamers. Everybody's going to benefit from it. But if this game turns into a flop, what's that going to say about future Kickstarters for future games? It's going to make it more difficult because people already have a bad taste in their mouth for Kickstarters in general, because of certain individuals taking advantage of, I'm not going to name anybody, but takes advantage of people for Kickstarters. So I want Mighty Number 9 to do good, because what's that going to do is that's going to set the pace, or not the pace, but the preference for future people that, entrepreneurs like me. Let's say, for example, I want to make a game. I have the know-how. But I don't have the funding. So I'm going to crowdfund for a game that I could create. It's going to open the door for more creativity, more developers, that up and coming developers, indie games, for example, like when indie games first started, I didn't like that idea at all. But I started playing some of these indie games and my jaw just dropped. I was like, oh my God, this is a fucking good game. Even though one person made this game, it's like, holy shit, and then that started to get me involved in independent developers. And then it's part of the Kickstarter. So I want all the Kickstarters to be successful, simply game Kickstarters to be successful and more specific, because it encourages creativity, encourages people to develop new games. And that, again, that's for everybody. That's what the gaming industry is about, is playing games, having fun playing those games. And so I don't have, look, I hope it's successful because it's going to pave the way for other people to develop games.
I mean, here's the thing about Kickstarter, all right, is that even if a project is successfully funded through Kickstarter, that does not guarantee at all that the project will ever see the light of day. That is one thing that a lot of people do not realize. If you went out of your way to go ahead and pony up $10,000 because you wanted your face on a character in a fucking game, just don't hold your fucking breath. That's all I gotta say. Like I said, I've got about 13 projects in my Kickstarter list as far as the history of the things that I've backed. I've seen returns on 3 of them. All right. I'd have to say about 30% of them, they have estimated launch dates that are from 2015. All right. And when they do actually come through, I'm usually very pleasantly surprised. But I'm also not somebody who's going to be sitting there donating hundreds upon thousands of dollars, to a Kickstarter project. I mean, Mighty Number 9 is when it comes out and it hits a digital distribution and everything else, it's going to be a $20 game. That's what I put down. All right. That was pretty much it. Okay. Otherwise, if I just wanted to go ahead and see, show my support, say, hey, look, good luck to you guys. Here's something for you to go on your way. I could have donated as little as $1. It wouldn't have hurt me anything, Generally speaking, though, the same type of mistakes that Concept made with Mighty Number 9, the handling of their community, the decision to go out of their way to handle the way that they did their PayPal and Slacker backer contributions, the way that they decided to go ahead and announce that they were going to do Red Ash before Mighty Number 9 was even released, and then the delays on top of that. Those are mistakes. Those types of mistakes are common amongst all sorts of Kickstarter projects that are out there, and like I said, it's still no guarantee if you go ahead and if something gets funded, there's still no guarantee that the game's going to come out. But when it does come out, it's actually pretty fucking cool. Shovel Knight was a Kickstarter game.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. The last Kickstarter reward that I got that showed up in my inbox just a few weeks ago was for Hyper Light Drifter. Excellent game. All right. That's a Kickstarter game. Shit, it just got Game of the Month on fucking Game Informer. Granted, it's a slow month, but still that speaks to the quality of the game, There's a whole bunch of games that are out there, indie titles that started out as Kickstarter games. Whether or not they end up being independently published or being picked up by a mainstream publisher like Deep Silver or somebody else, that's something that may or may not happen. But as far as Mighty Number 9 goes, people who are thinking about handling things through Kickstarter and putting things up as far as being independent developers or publishers or trying to put their product out, especially when it comes to games, they should pay attention to this shit. All right, because it goes. You can sit there and you could eliminate one or two. Actually, if you eliminated the bad will that was created with how they handled the community at the beginning of the project, a lot of the other things that happened along the way would have been a lot more forgivable, because your community wouldn't have been in a place where they were already pissed off at you.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, E3 is like 2 weeks away, and I'm pretty sure some Kickstarters on the stage this year as well. I mean, especially after the success of the last couple of years for Kickstarters at E3. So, Kickstarters are just, you're never, like you said, Reverend, you're never guaranteed a finished product. I mean, but I thought part of the Kickstarter, the verbatim in there was that you have to put up something, don't you?
No, you have to have something working. You have to be able to show something as far as what your product is going to be like or whatnot.
Look at what the Calico Chameleon did. They didn't even have that.
Yeah, and which is one of the reasons why they had their Kickstarter effort ceased and ended prematurely. They were like, nope, you can't push that shit through here.
Grey Mouse, there was a sequel to Chime?
Yeah.
That was Kickstarted.
Yeah, I know.
I'm Sharp. So there you go. So there are good experiences with Kickstarter. There are bad ones. And I concur with what you're saying. I hope the game comes out and that it's fucking good, so everyone can at least say, damn it, you made me wait so long for this shit, all the delays. But damn, this is
still good. Yeah.
That's easy.
But but one thing too is we still should not give them a pass.
No,
even
you should.
Good. We should still call bullshit when bullshit happens.
Exactly. Yes, you should.
Yeah, you did make a good game, but you did all this bullshit before. Yeah.
Yeah. And as Reverend was saying, all these companies need to take note to not do this,
Yep.
to not do things like this, to not delay it, to not try to have another project come out and this one's not even fucking out there yet. No.
I mean, delays are something that I'm pretty lenient on, as long as you're sitting there and you're telling me that you're going to give me a finished game. All right.
Yeah.
Now, if you delay something and it's missing a mode, or if you're delaying something and I sit there, I finally get it, and I can't even change the controls or the options. Excuse me, the fuck did you give me? All right, that's like giving me Chinese food and not handing me noodles or rice. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Oh, and by the way, Street Fighter V still does not have an arcade mode. I checked today. It's like,
and that shit was sold at full price.
Exactly.
So, again, mistakes that were made by number 9 have been made by other companies. All right.
Big companies.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on this in general, folks?
No, it's just that I mean, like I said before, there's only one game that I've actually kickstarted at this point, and there were reasons why I had did it. I had full knowledge and full understanding, and I knew its history on why it couldn't have been done any other way.
Yep.
Now, as far as Mighty Number 9 is concerned, with all the things, yes, call out bullshit, because they've done a lot of it. However, I do hope the game is good. Just as Grey Mouse is saying, I hope the game is good. And it looked, like I said before, it looks like the trailer was the 3DS version.
And it might have been. Who knows?
My final thoughts again are the same thing, as what Theme said. I hope the game is good, and after all these missteps that they did, I just hope it's good, and then at least they can say that they put out a good game. Yeah, they did all these issues beforehand, but at least we could have something in our hands saying, I didn't kickstart this, but I am still interested in it. It still looks like a good shooter platformer type of game, and it'd be it looks really good, but that trailer didn't do it any.
No, that trailer was shitty. I'll say that straight up.
Yes, it was.
Any good at all. But so
look, hey,
so who'd have thought that you would watch a trailer and you think it's shitty because of the trailer?
They have female cast. Oh wow!
Well,
how revolutionary!
And we're gamers that want video games, but we judge the game by its trailer. Wow!
Yeah, revolutionary, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Yep. With that, folks, thank you for spending the last 35 minutes with us. Look, if you have your thoughts on Mighty Number 9, if you have comments on it, if it's something you're actually looking forward to, or maybe you have thoughts in Kickstarter in general, leave a comment below. You know, along with that, if you're so kind, hit like, hit subscribe. We like that shit. You know, or don't if you don't like us. You can leave a comment on that too. All right.
You can leave it in any language too.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
we don't delete messages or conversations.
Yep. And we're usually pretty honest about feedback. All right. With that, we are the 3 middle-aged dudes. We are ending our bullshit right here. And that's going to be it for tonight. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
And this is Gray Mouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, delays in gaming, logic in gaming, fucked up Kickstarters in gaming, delays in gaming, ideologies in gaming, that needs to go. Delays need to go. Just make good games and come out with that shit. And I hope that wasn't a 3DS version of it. That's what it looked like. Oh well. Please just come out with good games. Credits.
Hey, Gray Mouse, when are you going to go ahead and start your Kickstarter for Gray Mouse's Social Justice Warrior Dance Party?
Oh, yeah.
No.